Hello, everybody. Welcome to my action research project, Motivated Reluctant Students to Follow Mathematics Strategy. First, I would like to mention that my action research question was guided to answer the following question: How effective is the critical thinking process using COPS mnemonic step to follow during solving math problem for a student in third grade? I would like to share with you what was the main reason that I pick or select this um, this research question for to continue with my investigation. This was my first year as a teacher in inclusion classroom. So at the beginning of the school year, I was kind of overwhelmed how to handle the situation of my students, that most of them were having a lot of challenges, problems with behavior, and at the same time understanding and answering questions related to mathematical problem solving successfully. The main reason that I started when I started the investigation was because they were having a lot of reading lack of skills. So that helped me out in how to really help them to improve their performance while they are answering questions related to mathematical problems. They didn't know what to do, they didn't know how to read, not all of them, but the majority of them. So that was the main reason I picked this study, to help them at the same time of helping me for my first year as a teacher. As a teacher and lead teacher of one of the classrooms. So that was my main reason. My students were having many struggles in basic skill of mathematics problem solving. So I wanted to guide you why this hard kind of study were developed by myself on my first year. In my as my first year as a teacher in third grade. So the reason at the beginning of the school year, I also would like to add that I pass around to each of the students a survey to the family to let me know, based on my areas and my areas of teaching, what were their expectations of their child, how they would like their child to become according to math, science, or social study subjects. The majority of the family were answering that they were hope and they really would like to improve their child's cognitive skills in mathematical standards. So it told me the idea that the foundation for majority of those learners were very low. So that motivated me to start an investigation in mathematics area of content principle. My purpose of this study was to determine the effectiveness of the COPS strategy in a student with and without disability attending to third grade mathematics classes. So, the content. The study was conducted in two third grade classes. One of the classes I was the lead teacher, the homeroom teacher. And the other class wasn't, but I was the only one who taught them mathematics. So one of the classes was recognized as a teen classroom with student learning performance at the grade level. The second class consisted on lower students, with 10% of the students compared to the overall participant were more capable of returning and performance questions related to mathematics problem solving at the grade on a good level. Both classes were part of Miami-Dade County Public School at W.J. Bryan Elementary School, a Title I school. The 80% of all the students were Asian ethnicity and the rest Hispanic. 3 students were identified as having learning disability. The inclusion teacher was responsible for conducting, planning, and working directly with the students during instructional time to better assist them in meeting the criteria of answering correctly word problem solving at the grade level. The necessary resources needed to perform the action research studies successfully include administration concern and third grade curriculum standards question of the grade level. So, okay, related to my methods. The intervention, the method that I used was mnemonic CUPS strategy. What is that strategy about? First of all, I found that strategy through the website Teacher Pay Teachers. So that website helped me to get an idea how to support them in understanding and obtain the important or focus on relevant information of the mathematical word problem more successfully to better complete the question and successfully answer those questions correctly. So the COP, what is that about? The COP checklist strategy was, the C was standing for circle important numbers and words appears on the math word problems. That was the main reason of the C. So this strategy guides them to follow a step to better get more satisfied results at the end of answer the questions related to mathematical word problem. The U, letter U, underline what the question is asking. So my students were, most of my homeroom classroom that was were the students that were performing at lower, 1 or 2 grade level below. They were having a lot of problems reading skills. So that put them low in the put them a little bit lower performance and answers the question, especially understanding. First of all, most of them were unable to read with fluency, and kind of 5 students were starting reading sight words on 3rd grade. So that was a tough year for me because this was my first professional career as a homeroom teacher and teacher of math classes with a student that most of them were with low performances. The P was standing for plan your strategy, answering the following question. What are you going to do to solve it? Draw a diagram and write an equation. They didn't know how to proceed by themselves. They need to learn each steps of this strategy carefully and slowly, so they can apply those concepts in every single word problem that they have to perform throughout the year. The S was standing for solve and check the final answers. And label your answer, write your answer in full sentences, and check your word. So the main part of this strategy was guide them. How so many words was going to make sense for them to answer problem solving successfully. The data collected in this investigation. The first data that was collected was using in the first week of the investigation, was helping them to solve, to specifically demonstrate their understanding following the steps of this strategy, COPS. So I follow to grade their performance and understand where were the areas of struggle, in what part of the step they have more problem. I was guided with the math word problem solving rubric that I have it on my project. The data collected was obtained from different formative assessments, the beginning and the end of the year test. The beginning test was never given to the student at the really beginning of the school year. Was given as soon as I started my investigation, because I knew it that I was going to focus on my investigation in this particular content. So I never give it to them at really beginning of the school year. Instead, I give it to them later on. The other data collected evaluated the effect implementing the COPS strategy through our math textbook and the topic assessment results. Well, the topic assessment were need to complete it at the beginning of each lesson, it's like chapter lesson of third grade. So the students were practicing during instructional time how to answer and follow the procedure of this strategy, and able to answer more successfully depending on their skills during to assessments. The iReady diagnostic result in math section was used as a progress monitoring tool. The data was each test was evaluated periodically according to the lesson level of the learner and diagnostic tests of the grade level. So here are the graphs representing their scores, how I interpreted the data, and at the end I noticed some improvement in majority of the students. However, the one with learning disability still struggle because they didn't have the reading skills necessary to understand the information and follow every single step on that was need to follow through this strategy. The finding, the research supports that using mnemonic strategy in teaching word problem solving skills was slightly empower the learner's performance while analyzing the information of this type of questions. A student has some positive result when they follow the teacher's explanation and consistently ask for questions that benefit their thinking skills to interpret problem data. Every day, a student receives different reinforcement and demonstrate the best attention and effort during math lesson instructions. What were the limitations of this project? The length of intervention was limited to measure the effectiveness of this strategy due to a lot of issues with behaviors and lack of focus of the students. The other limitations were the student with learning disability or IEP program did not improve the math skills with the implementation of the strategy because of their struggles in reading comprehension skills. There were several interventions throughout the school week due to activity and prioritizing the students with reading intervention and school events. A student with learning disability did not improve as much despite the teacher efforts. The expectation or implication of this study, the strategy benefits the self-regulation and reading skill of the learners with good foundation and working at the grade level. Offer the student flexible environment to learn and practice the mathematical strategy learned. Giving opportunity to the student in practice mathematical skills with technology also benefits and increases the motivation of the learner who can perform at the grade level. Professional staff, parents, and students may benefit from learning about this research. So thank you for enjoying this presentation. I hope you get valuable information throughout, and thank you so much. Have a great day.